Guys, first up, a heartfelt thanks for the love and support that you have provided for my last video. I hope it continues into the future as well. And before we actually dive into the topic of the video, we'll just ask ourselves just one simple question, that is, are we comfortable, or are we happy, or just content with the kind of achievements or the successes or just the situation that we are in at this point in time? Irrespective of the answer, get to the topic, which is pretty much related to the last video of mine. Talk about the time management skills, which is very essential regardless of the age group that we're in. A necessity for all of us. Management is a crucial skill that can help us achieve our goals, and also in terms of productivity. Now, we can learn the time management skills in 7 simple steps. The first key point being goal setting, which one has to do for oneself to set goal, to achieve it over the period of time, or a set term of time so that you can plan and achieve it accordingly and effectively. Honestly, tell me, how many of you guys actually set goals for yourselves? Honestly, really? Okay, I was just kidding, people. Some of you really set goals for yourselves and start planning accordingly so that you can, complete it successfully, right? I respect that. Honestly, yes, I do. And that's a way to go about, right? When you start setting goals for your everyday activities, such as organizing or prioritizing the most important task which needs to be done at a specific time during the day, then you will put it right at the top of the table. And the things that can be done a little later in the day, then you can put it somewhere in the middle of the table. And the things that can be done before the end of the day, that can be put somewhere at the bottom of the table, right? I'm sure that's the way it's been.
Point being, again, the most important one would be prioritization. Now, how do you actually go about prioritizing? Because the prioritization to each one of us may differ. That goes to say, I might have different interests and I might perceive those things are very important for me to go ahead and complete it as a part of my goals for the day. Similarly, you also might have your own interests which you think are very important for you to go ahead and complete it before the end of the day. And accordingly, you prioritize things. But what I eventually would conclude this one as, it needs to be productive and constructive. People, at the end of the day, we need to gain something. We need to benefit from what we do. The kind of tasks we do and the kind of goals that we set for ourselves really give us some kind of benefit, some kind of gaining of a knowledge, some kind of gaining of an experience, some kind of gaining of monetary benefit. I'm sure you all understand what I'm trying to say here, right? I mean, we all could have different interests which we think are very important interests to a common cause, such as benefits or learning and experience, owning some kind of a monetary benefit, something like that. Now, is it wrong? Your point is planning. Now, how many of us actually have this habit of sitting down with a pen and paper, jotting down all the necessary tasks that needs to be done at a certain point in time of the day? Some of us do, some of us don't. But I would strongly recommend that it's a very good habit, because possibilities that we might overlook a few things here and there, it will spill over to the next day thinking that, oh, we kind of overlooked, we forgot to, complete that particular task which I need to complete it today. So instead of carrying over or instead of spilling it over for the next day, you might as well piece of paper so that you could remember to complete that particular task before the end of the day, so that you don't have to carry anything for tomorrow, because tomorrow is fresh and you will have fresh activities to plan for. I'm sure you would agree with.
Fourth point, time blocking. And it is a technique that allows us to break your day into as many blocks of time and assign specific tasks to each block of time, so that we can concentrate or focus on completing one task at a time and avoid multitasking and end up in. The point is very crucial and interesting as well. It talks about eliminating distractions. I'm sure every one of us understands its importance to eliminate any such distractions that keep us away from doing anything that's creative, constructive, in order to enhance or add values to our personal and professional lives. And who would want that actually? We would all want to be productive and give the right kind of value to our personal and professional lives at all times. And in order to avoid any such distractions, we draw a line of check in terms of digital dependency. We only use the required electronic items as and when we require it during the time of day or course of time. And we would only use it for reference purposes or some creative or constructive purposes. But otherwise, that's available, we use it constructively and productively to enhance, like I said, our personal and professional lives. Because at the end of the day, if you're not being productive, the entire day is being wasted. If we talk about one day at a time, are the days that we've lost in letting the distractions taking us over, but instead we will avoid any. I'm sure you understand the importance of you completing a particular task which you think is most important and essential for you. Distractions, they never cease, they never stop. They keep cropping up every step of the way. But in order to choose what is right for you, you certainly need to cultivate this ability to restrict or restrain your distractions for the time, and perhaps get back to them at a later time or a later date. I'm sure distractions are not going anywhere, and you can always get back to them as and when you please, right? Just make sure that for the time being, as and when you're trying to complete your task, avoid any sort of distraction.
Sixth point talks about tracking progress. You need to consistently keep tracking of the progress that you made while completing the tasks successfully. Also, show you the kind of efforts that you had put in while completing those very tasks. Start showing results as and when you keep completing each task. And once you start seeing the results, I'm sure there is a chance of you getting motivated, and as well as start working towards your productivity with even better. Talks about you taking regular breaks, which I'm sure everyone does from time to time, guys. Come on, taking a break, who doesn't know that? All right, so just be mindful of the fact that you cannot keep continually working towards completing your task all day, because it not only tires you physically and mentally, you also will have your ideas run out of your minds before the end of the day. Who wants that to happen? Okay, don't do that. Sit down, take your time off, maybe a 5 or a 10-minute breather. You can rejuvenate your body and mind so that you can gleefully start doing your next task which is lined up. I'm sure you guys have understood that this is not rocket science, and everything can be done all by yourselves by a simple planning. Try to understand your priorities first and plan your activities accordingly. That's all that is needed. All right, and thank you very much for your patience, for being with me this long, and I hope it continues in the future as well. And God bless you until the next one. See you. Take care.